Geishin, what have you done? This is the Swedish Super OTOMATIC. Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder to the 1.97 dev server. As it is usual, everything is subject to change, the values are not final, and this is a mere vehicle preview. So I will not look into any sort of test drives. I tried, but the dev server is quite unstable, so I'm really looking forward to make this video in one go. Also, it's very late and I have to get up tomorrow to work. So this is something that I hope you understand. Let's begin with the nations from the left to the right, and let's just go through the vehicles one by one. USS Portland CA-33, finally a successor to the Pensacola. It has one gun less, but it has, I guess, better readout. It's 7.2 seconds, so we have 9 8-inch guns in 3 triple turrets. The armor isn't the greatest, the speed seems quite okay, and the shells are also very similar as to its predecessor, as you can see, and some anti-aircraft capabilities, quite nice. Then we come to the A4B. This is a funny looking jet. It looks very small, but therefore it can carry quite a lot of payload. As you can see, a lot of options, from 3 cannons to a lot of bombs, bullpups. All your heart's desires will be fulfilled. How useful it is, how good the performance is as a 9.0 jet, how useful it will be in air RB, in tank RB, has to be seen. F4E Phantom II. Now this is another jet. If you look into the tech tree for aviation, it's indeed a second one. And the one thing that I noticed is we have some very good ATGMs, air-to-air missiles, sorry. You can carry 4 AIM-9J Sidewinders that can, pull 20 Gs, which is fairly substantial. Then let's go to Germany, and they have a rather unnecessary addition. A nice ship to be sure, but a unnecessary one. Another 5.7 light cruiser, the Leipzig. And despite it being in its 1944 configuration, the AA is rather weak. So its successor is substantially better suited for anti-aircraft duties, the Nürnberg, which is also from the same year, so go figure. Then the Radkampfwagen 90, battle rating 9.0, light tank. Wheeled vehicle, looks kind of goofy, kind of cool. No armor really, I guess, gets hull broken. We have then a stock DM-23, which is quite nice, and the DM-33 is upgraded. Yeah, okay. Then we come to the Soviets. We begin with the Svetlov, a 5.7 end-of-the-line cruiser. I guess its main feature over its predecessor is a second armored deck. And yeah, the rest is more or less the same. Decent anti-aircraft platform, torpedoes, nasty main battery guns for the caliber. And then we have a bit of a surprise, the Project 41 Nostra Shimi. Now, it is a battle rating 4.7 destroyer. And there is a reason why this sits at 4.7, and it seems not to be the main guns. It seems to be the destroyers, which if you can get closer, there we go. There you can see those quadruple 45mm, and they are no joke. And you have 4 45mm, 4 quadruple 45mm. Gosh, that's a lot of numbers. Then we have also some rocket launchers. And the torpedoes also seem to be quite nice on a rather fast destroyer. So they can actually shoot up to 5 kilometers and kill a destroyer with a relatively short burst. It's incredible. How this will translate into the game, we'll have to see. Then the absolute shocker, the Ki-52, is the end of the line helicopter. And yeah, it looks pretty nasty. You can see a lot of weapon loadout. If you go into the modifications, yeah, we have here the offensive APFSDS belt, you know, around about 80 millimeters of penetration. And then we also have some nasty loadouts. And this is what I'm really worried about. We have 4 air-to-air missiles that can pull 18 Gs at a range of somewhere between 4 and 6 kilometers in terms of lock-on. Then we have 12 Vikram missiles, again, those infamous 10-kilometer range ones. And wow, battle rating 10.0, as if the Ka-50 would not have been enough. No, they add now a tech tree version, and they extend the helicopter tech tree. Exactly what the game needed. Then we have the Ka-29, which is a rather fat boy and looks not really, yeah. Well, you look at it from behind, so you don't have to worry about its front so much. Oh god, the comment section. What about the loadout? Well, we have those Sturm missiles. Then we have some other rockets. We have cannons. Yeah, it's not my type of thing. I have no idea how far you can actually shoot them, but I guess quite a long distance. And then the T-72B. Now, it looks cool. It has a lot of era plating, which is quite nice versus tanks with problems to aim properly and also no APFSDS. And then we look here and we kind of see the same armor weak spots. The driver's hatch, the lower glacis, and obviously the gun breech. So those are the Soviets. Let's go to Britain and Gaijin, why? Why do you really want to make Britain suffer? This is the HMS Ken in its, lo and behold, 1934 configuration. And finally, Britain gets also a cruiser that has 8-inch guns. Well deserved, Britain, well deserved. The ship is also not that slow, 66 kilometers per hour, and we have 8 8-inch guns. And they have a readout of 12 seconds, so this is roughly hipper terrain, right? But let's have a look at the ammunition. Good news and bad news. Good news, the high explosive, the stock one, with 10 kilograms of TNT, that is fairly strong for an 8-inch shell, right? But then the 8-inch Mark 1B SAPC isn't really that convincing. I guess Gaijin will add an armor-piercing, a proper armor-piercing shell. The anti-aircraft capabilities, 1934 configuration, not the best. The torpedoes also really slow, rather C-mines. Then we come to the premium Reukart 105, 8.7, and yeah, stock Heat FS, and then the upgraded DM23, which doesn't really matter because it is a premium, and it also gets thermal imaging, if I'm not completely mistaken. And then we get the Lightning F6, and it doesn't really look that appealing to me. A lot of people are really hyped about it. We'll see how it performs. The stat card says it is really fast, but I've seen this before, so we'll have to see how fast it is actually on the deck, where most of the air-to-air fights happen in RRB. Going into the modification, we have the Firestreak 2 that can pull 13 Gs, not too bad. And then the Red Top 2 that can pull 16 Gs and has a rear aspect weapon lock range of 6 kilometers. So better, but only 2. And as main gun, we have a single Aiden 30mm, two Aiden 30mm with 240 rounds between them. Yeah, that's not really that much, but I guess that's reflected then in the flight performance. We will see. Let's go to Japan, and we have the F4EJ Phantom 2. That is more or less copy-paste from the American new one, and again we get those fantastic AIM-9J Sidewinders, 4 of them that can pull 20 Gs. Then a pleasant surprise, but not when it comes to the paint job. Ugh. That is the IJN Mikuma. Battle rating 5.7, Japanese premium cruiser. Gaijin is breaking here a little bit with the tradition because the anti-aircraft capabilities are not really that much better, or in fact, to be honest, that more effective than the IJN Suzuya. I loved the Suzuya. I expect to really like the Mikuma as well. But again, when you meet some of the German heavy units, tears, and bullets you will sweat. So I like the idea of this ship. This is what a true 5.7 should be, but only if some other ships have a battle rating of 6.3. The Tsushi, I don't know. Battle rating 3.3, not really that desirable, but it's kind of okay, I guess. Then let's come to China, and we get the ZTZ-96A. And that is a tank that, you know, has a fairly nasty 125mm gun, battle rating 10.0, and obviously for me personally the selling point next to the not that bad APFSDS with 269mm of penetration at 60 degrees angles of attack with a muzzle velocity of 730 meters per second is obviously the DTB 125 HE shell for the memes. But yeah, the real joke. Look at this gap. Look at this gap in the gun mantlet. That is... oof. That is rough. That is rough. Yeah. No. Then the F100A is also a new jet for China. And yeah, it's... well, what do you expect? 4 AIM-9Bs and a substantial array of 20mm. Then Italy sadly got nothing this patch. France, on the other hand, got a fair array of rather low tier tank. The M4A3105 is a thing. It's quite okay, like the Crusader Mark II. Not that bad either. And the M3A3 Stuart looks a bit better than the Stuart that we are used to because of the side here, but yeah, nothing really spectacular. Then there is the MX-32, and just look at this camouflage and how huge the turret is. As to be expected, the armor is not really that thick, and also, yeah, the composite armor, not so sure about it. But it's really the horsepower to ton ratio. It's, you know, for a 9.3, that's actually not that amazing, if I'm honest with you guys. And then also the modifications, stock heat FS and APFSDS. Yeah, rank 4 upgrade. Let's come to Sweden, and let's begin with the J35D. I hope that you forgive me if I sound a little bit tired. And this jet, well, it exists as the new top end of the line, top battle rating jet for Sweden. How it exactly will perform, we'll have to see. The RB24, of which you have 4, can pull 10 Gs, 4 kilometer weapon lock range in rear aspect. So, not so quite sure. SRV M39 looks for a battle rating 1.0 tank, fairly advanced. Then the CV90-10-5 is is a premium battle rating 9.0. I kind of like the look of it, but the mobility is it's okay-ish. We have the stock we have an M735, hash, heat, and then the DM23. Okay, sounds great. Again, this is something where I have to say I will make then fairly certain a tank review. Then the LVRB701. Now that is something where you have to look closely, because you have to decide after you research it if you use the RB55C ATGM or exclusively the RB70 surface-to-air missile with a firing range of 6 kilometers. And that with a limited amount of only 6 for a battle rating 10.0 vehicle. I mean, yeah, it looks really fast, especially if it is then upgraded. But as a real performer, I think I'll pass. The CV90-12-0, on the other hand, is at battle rating 9.7. We go to a 120mm tech tree, and we have a stock DM23 and upgraded DM33 APFSDS round. Mobility will be quite okay, but not really outstanding. Then the STRV 121, that's a Leo 2A4. Now there is a great many deals of tanks, right? But there is one thing where I really wonder if this is a good idea. Do you remember the automatic? The STRF 90C is at battle rating 9.3 with a 40mm main gun. Now, sadly, I couldn't get into a test drive without the game crashing. But look at this. This is really cool looking. We don't really have armor. But this is the thing that worries me. You have a stock APFSDS and you have a stock HE round. Then you get, as a tier 2 upgrade, a proximity fuse shell with a decent muzzle velocity, and then an upgraded APFSDS with 170mm. I hope Gaijin kind of somewhat limits the amount of APFSDS, or we have a serious case of hello automatic, because this is a serious amount of shells that you can carry with it. Sadly, I couldn't really test drive it. So the new Swedish tech tree will look fairly interesting, and there are so many vehicles that I could look into, but it's now getting too late. I mean, yeah, there's the Stridsvagn 81. This time, without the ATGMs, because, you know, that would be a British premium thing. That is another thing that I'm really looking forward to. The Stridsvagn 103C also, well, I've seen things, kind of this fence should absorb chemical rounds, HE, hash, and heat. How exactly it works, sometimes it works, sometimes it fails, and then the armor plating, I don't know if this works at all at this battle rating of 8.7 when people shoot APFSDS at you. So, not quite sure what to think about this, but it looks cool though, and I hope Gaijin has refined the aiming. UDES 33, yeah, that looks cool, doesn't it? But only 10 RB55 ATGMs, so we will have to see. When the patch comes out, I can test so many things. So there are so many tanks, you know, the images are not there to prepare them, to upgrade them. That is a task that I'm not quite sure. But tanks like these, I'm really looking forward to play them, to make reviews of them. And you know what? I have to now cut it. I'm sorry that I can't look at all the Swedish tanks. Again, a lot of technical issues have prevented me from, you know, making the video that I kind of wanted, you know, with the test drives and so on, because the game just constantly crashed. So that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section what you think about the upcoming Swedish tanks, what you expect from them, especially that monster, the ships, the planes, and the tanks of the other nations. And yeah, please give this video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the waves, in the skies, and on the battlefields of War Thunder.